From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reported tonight,
Bimbo Oloide.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, House of Representatives approves emergency rule in the Northeast by another 6 months. The Senate undecided, votes on extension of emergency rule next Thursday. The United Nations condemns abduction of Chibok girls, pledges to support rehabilitation of the students after their release. And a Sudanese woman is sentenced to death by hanging for choosing to marry a Christian.
And on Business News tonight, Nigeria's inflation rate edges up owing to an increase in food prices.
And on sports news tonight, 8 schools battle for 4 slots as the Lagos preliminaries of the Channels National Kids Cup enters its crucial phase.
We begin tonight with the approval given to the President's request to extend the state of emergency in the Northeast. The House of Representatives today told President Goodluck Jonathan to go on with the plan. The approval was granted after over 2 hours of closed-door meetings by security chiefs and hours of deliberations by lawmakers.
Two hours and 45 minutes. That's what it took the House of Representatives to meet with security chiefs over issues surrounding the extension of the state of emergency in 3 northeastern states of Borno, Yobe and Adamawa. The meeting commenced at 2 p.m. and with a few minutes to 5 p.m., the Speaker put the question of extension to lawmakers.
Those in support of the extension of state of emergency in the states of Adamawa, Borno and Yobe should please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it.
Despite what seemed like a unanimous decision, there were dissenting voices by some lawmakers who argued that it is unjustifiable and an outright imposition.
All the Boko Haram that they are pursuing are in Sambisa. I can assure you we don't have one single Boko Haram in Yobe State.
So and therefore you see no reason?
We see no reason. That is our argument. That is our argument. All my families are in Yobe. I have never left Damaturu for even 10 days. We are getting peace. Let allow our people, if Mr. President let him declare state of emergency to the Sambisa forest. Not Borno, Yobe, they know the place.
Addressing a news conference after the proceedings, spokesman for the House said the Constitution is clear on what needs to be done in times such as this.
When we were having the debate yesterday, we had various opinions. Even when we came to the chambers, we had different opinions. But when we listened to the service chiefs, a lot of us had a second thought as to our stance, and we're convinced.
The National Assembly may make laws for the Federation or any part thereof with respect to matters not included in the exclusive legislative layers for the purpose of implementing a treaty. Now, the tricky issue there is subsection 3. A bill for an act of the National Assembly passed pursuant to the provisions of subsection 2 of this section shall not be presented to the President for assent and shall not be enacted unless it is ratified by a majority of all houses of assembly in the Federation. So it means that we have to go around the states to endorse. Do we have that time?
The lawmakers may have given the extension required by the executive after what they say was useful insight given by the service chiefs on the security situation in the affected areas. But they also realized the need to follow up the efforts put in by the military to see to the end of terrorism in these states. Omelogo Nadi, Channels Television News.
For the Senate, there is still need for consultation on the extension of emergency rule. The Deputy Senate President, Ike Ekweremadu, who presided over a 3-hour closed-door session between members of the upper chamber and the service chiefs, says that approval may come after consultation on the issue. However, the upper house is expected to vote on the issue next Tuesday.
The Senate, in a closed-door session, met with the service chiefs, Inspector General of Police, and the DGSSS, and we are fully briefed on the operations of the state of emergency in Yobe, Borno, and Adamawa over the last 12 months. Thereafter, when they had left, we analyzed our conversation with them, and as responsible and patriotic Nigerians, we are looking at it from a very diverse angle to ensure that the security situation in those states improve at the shortest possible time. And further to that, we also agreed to do further consultations with the other necessary stakeholders to ensure that everybody will buy in into whatever needs to be done to secure those states and to defeat insurgency in those states. So this is exactly what transpired in the closed-door session. So by Tuesday, we'll continue our deliberation on the issue of the state of emergency in Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states.
Meanwhile, the Pan-Northern Socio-Political Organization, Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, holds a different view about the extension of the state of emergency in Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states. As far as the ACF is concerned, it is absolutely unnecessary to extend emergency rule in the 3 states. The northern body is asking the National Assembly not to succumb to pressure from the presidency to impose emergency rule on the states. According to the ACF, before the state of emergency was declared in the 3 states, the total casualties of the insurgency between 2009 and 2012 were less than 1,500, but this figure skyrocketed to over 2,700 during the 1 year of emergency rule. The Nigerian Army has redeployed the GOC of the 7th Division of the Nigeria Army in Borno State, Major General Ahmed Mohammed. While succession has already been activated, the Army did not state where he is being redeployed. The move became necessary after angry soldiers at Maimalari Cantonment in Borno State fired gunshots in the air in what appeared to be a revolt against their general officer commanding. The soldiers were said to be unruly after seeing the bodies of their colleagues who were reportedly killed in an ambush by Boko Haram while returning from patrol duties in Chibok. While no one was injured during the incident, an investigation has been launched into the reason why subordinates shot at their Major General.
Troops who had an assignment in Chibok as part of the search and rescue operations that is going on and have been patrolling that area were returning to Maiduguri, and on their way back at Terwa, that's a few kilometers from Maiduguri, they were ambushed, and at the end of the ambush, one officer and 5 soldiers died, and a number also were wounded. The dead were to be moved to the morgue. In the process, a number of their colleagues, most of whom were not part of the exercise, as a matter of sympathy, went to see their colleagues in the hospital. And when they saw them, they were very much touched and disturbed. And in the process, the general officer commanding as well was there to show sympathy, which is proper for officers to do with their troops, and to encourage those who are wounded. In the process, some soldiers, for whatever reason, became unruly and fired some shots. Eventually, the matter was brought under control. Everything is normal in the barracks at the moment. Every soldier is going about his duty, as you must have found on your way here. And indeed, we want to assure Nigerians that there is no cause for alarm. Redeployed, his person is the issue now. His successor will, when he comes up, when he resumes, you will know.
The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to rescuing the abducted students from Government Girls Secondary School, Chibok, Borno State. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Mohammed Adoke, said at a meeting of the Nigerian Bar Association that government has resolved to confront the Islamic sect Boko Haram headlong. He advised lawyers and other Nigerians to team up with government to end all acts of terrorism in the country.
From across the country, lawyers converged on Abuja to attend the National Executive Committee meeting of the Nigerian Bar Association. The Attorney General of the Federation reeled out efforts by the government to curb insurgency in the country.
The criminal activities of the Boko Haram sect, especially their incessant mindless bombings and attack on defenseless citizens, have remained a source of concern to government and the entire people of this country. Effort by government to get the sect to table their grievances in a constructive manner have not yielded positive results. Aware of its constitutional responsibility to provide security and protect life and property, government has resolved to confront this challenge through a cocktail of measures, including the declaration of a state of emergency in the affected states.
The Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory advised delegates to arrest the declining standards in the legal profession, just as the Minister of State for the FCT stressed the need for lawyers to promote the rule of law.
Those who are privileged to be called lawyers have a special duty as the gatekeepers of justice to participate in preserving what we hold so dear to the betterment of our society.
The Bar Association and its members have been vibrant in the territory and vigilant on matters of rule of law and human rights, such that one can only ignore them at one's peril.
Issues of insecurity dominated discussions as the president of the Nigerian Bar Association and the chairman of the FCT chapter appealed to the government to be alive to its responsibility of guaranteeing the security of lives and property.
Nigeria is currently facing myriad of problems. Key institutions of democratic governance and security are weak. At the moment, Nigerians are living in great fear. Fear from terrorism, crimes, kidnapping, militancy.
These sad occurrences are a reflection of an overall security decline in Africa, especially as escalated by the untamed Arab Spring, particularly that of Libya.
The two-day National Executive meeting is expected to, among other things, provide guidelines for the election of a new National Executive for the association.
Well, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Umar Manko, has dismissed reports that a bag containing an improvised explosive device has been discovered in Lagos. He said the report, which threw residents, motorists and workers around the Idumota market axis in Lagos State into pandemonium earlier today, is false, as the bag was removed by the police and contains no bomb. He encourages Lagosians to go about their lawful business without fear, as no bomb has been discovered as widely reported. In part two, after the break, federal government reassures Nigerians of its commitment towards ending insurgency. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.